speak to Republican strategist and former senior official at the Department of Homeland Security, James Norton. Hello to you, Mr. Norton. Thank you for joining us here at chilly Washington this morning. Tell us what to expect from your point of view today.
Well, I think that it's a peaceful transfer of power, no matter what political party it is. As you just said, there's a lot of traditions in place. The Trumps will get together with the Obamas and have the traditional coffee and tea together before President Trump takes the oath of office. I think that President Trump's message today will be one of economics. This election, despite a lot of the personal attacks, really was about the economy and jobs. And I think, we saw a lot of that during the transition, a lot of announcements from companies like Ford and Boeing and Lockheed and others that were looking to reopen plants or open plants relative to automakers and planes and other types of jobs. So I think we're going to hear a lot about economics and the future plan for the economy and how President Trump plans to work with Congress and other areas like taxes and tax reform and those types of things.
How is he going to unify the nation, and will he address that in his speech, which we're told he's written himself, his inauguration address? It's likely to be about 20 minutes or thereabouts. I believe that Hillary Clinton may well be on the platform with her husband.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, again, not only will Hillary and Bill Clinton be on the platform, so will George W. Bush and Laura Bush, as well as Jimmy Carter and his wife. So you're going to see, former presidents up there from different political parties, essentially uniting behind President Trump. George H.W. Bush, who's not able to attend, wrote a very positive, supportive letter to President Trump just a few days ago, expressing his wishes that he does well in his new position as president. I think, the economy and economics, and President Trump, even on his, the night he won his election, said that, he wants to be the president for all people. And I think you're going to see him doing that. I think, there's obviously been a lot of rhetoric the last couple of days. There's, different folks that are discussing his, potential plans. See, immediately after he takes the oath of office, you're going to see governing take place. Congress will immediately go into session. They'll start confirming some of his nominees for Homeland Security, for the Defense Department. They'll take their position. His team, which is also called the Beach Team, which lands today, which starts the governing process. We'll start the process of moving forward, and I think we'll start to get away from some of this rhetoric we've seen in the last couple of weeks.
He does have to start putting some meat on the bones, doesn't he? There had been some suggestions, as you're saying there, had been some suggestions that he might take the weekend off. In fact, he'd been quoted as saying that he starts his job proper on Monday. I've also heard today that he's going to immediately look at things like immigration today, and he's also going to consider what to do about this transatlantic treaty.
Yeah, no, I think that, the presidency, the office of the president, the job of not only himself but the political appointees that work for him essentially is a 24/7 a day job, and it really never closes. And so, despite, discussion of, taking the weekend off or starting Monday, the job really starts at 12:01, and that's what you'll see with the governing. I think you'll see some executive orders taking place immediately. You'll see discussion on immigration and enforcing some laws that are already on the books, and asking the Homeland Security Department to find the worst criminals that are out there for deportation. I think areas of treaties certainly will be discussion, but treaties are a little bit different than executive orders. They do have to work with the Congress and the Senate to approve some of those different ideas. And so, I think that President Trump will immediately reach out to some foreign leaders, as he's done already. I think he's looking forward to his meeting with Prime Minister May here coming up shortly, and I think you'll see different discussions there. And so, there is a unifying, sense, and I think the message will be there. And I think at the end of the day, folks in have to get things done. There'll be budget decisions coming up here in March. There'll be his own fiscal year 18 budget he has to do. There'll be other confirmations and other folks he's going to want to get appointed to his administration, and that requires relationships and working and some bipartisan spirit. And I think you'll see some of that.
And what about reaching out to the American people? As you're saying, it is a divided nation as far as the election was concerned. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. She obviously is not taking to the White House later on today, and there's going to be something like 100 different organisations that have certainly applied for permission to protest here today. He's not a universally popular president. What does he need to do to unify the country? There were demonstrations last night outside Trump Tower. There are going to be more today.
Well, I think that, there's always going to be protests, and I think that it's a part of our fabric as a country. I think that, protesting is actually a good thing, and that freedom of speech is a good thing. And so, I think it's actually terrific that people are expressing their views, and hopefully they can do it in a peaceful way and let President Trump know that they have a different opinion on potentially some of his policies. I think that President Trump will try to reach out to them in his inaugural speech, and he'll try to do that over the course of time. I think in areas of health care reform, he's stated a couple of times that he's not in favor of a full repeal. He wants to have, still have coverage for pre-existing diseases and other types of things. So he's kind of, put a few signals out there on areas of immigration. He has said that he's, willing to compromise in some areas. And so I think he signaled a few different times that he's willing to work with the other side. This was a very close election. President Trump got, 60+ million. Hillary Clinton got 60+ million. So the popular vote was pretty close. So it shows you that it's essentially a 50-50 country at this point in terms of where people are on the political spectrum. However, he did win the Electoral College, and that's how our Constitution is set up. And he did win states that are, traditionally Democrat, such as Michigan and Pennsylvania and Ohio. And so, again, I think that tells you about, economics and what people are looking for him to do, despite some of the personal attacks. So I think that's the area where he's going to really be able to unite the country, is through economics and jobs and trying to bring down unemployment and bring some of those 95 million people into the workforce.